Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Massa. I have the great good fortune of serving as the director of the Boisi Center for Religion and American Public Life here at Boston College. Welcome to the Boisi Center's second annual virtual graduate student conference. And the theme this year, as you all know, is religious activism, political change, political activism, religious change. I'm delighted that you're with us this morning. Now I'd like to turn things over to Zach Karanovich, Boisi's dynamic graduate research assistant. Everything that works today is due to Zach. He did all the heavy lifting. He planned this and organized this. So Zach, we are now putty in your hands.
And also everything that doesn't work is also my fault. So good morning, everyone. As Mark said, my name is Zach Karanovich, and I serve as the graduate research assistant for the Boisi Center for Religion and American Public Life here at Boston College. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to the Boisi Center's second annual graduate student conference, this year exploring that topic, religious activism, political change, political activism, and religious change. We're especially happy to welcome back some returning presenters and hope that those of you who are new to the conference will continue to join us in the years to come. Incidentally, as regards the conference's topic, a few days ago, I revisited the opening remarks of last year's conference. In them, I hoped that the conference would continue for many years, but I also hoped that pandemic would never again be relevant to explore. I quoted some articles and confidently shared their opinion that by the end of summer of 2021, we would be in the clear. And it's a good thing I didn't put any money on that. But for now, we'll focus on the present topic. The relationship between religion and politics is, as an understatement, a gross understatement, interesting. The interesting parts of the interaction aren't always the result of activism as such. Consider the way Christianity was influenced by the political changes in the Roman Empire. Think of the impact the Reformation had on Europe and its governance. We might call these byproducts of a different act that has a broad sphere of influence. But there are situations when what prompts the change in our political life or our religious life is actually activism. Let's reach for the low-hanging fruit here. Religious participation in the civil rights movement, for example, privately held companies gaining the rights of religious conscience, or the recognition of marriage equality in the US and certain faith communities resulting from some of both political and religious activism. The examples can go on and on. The papers we will hear today engage this influence of activism on the religious and or the political, from the way national identity relates to our religious identity, to how we think about political engagement theologically and practically, from the activism of clergy to the sanctuary movement and the congregations that support it. Today promises to be informative and insightful. So thank you to the presenters for giving your time and your energy to writing your papers and to sharing with us the fruits of your research and your thought. For those of you returning, you'll notice some changes to our format. We were excited to hear the papers representing a number of disciplines offered by presenters who represent 8 institutions. This is fewer papers than last year, but we were more selective so that we could accommodate longer and more meaningful conversations among the presenters, the respondents, and all who join us today. So we hope that comes to fruition. And speaking of respondents, we wholeheartedly believe that this conference attracts such high caliber papers from high achieving students because of the opportunity to be in conversation with them. So thank you to our respondents, Ken Himes, Jeannine Hill Fletcher, Mark Massa, Dan McKanan, and Erick Berralleza. We thank the Dean's Office of the Morrissey College of Arts and Sciences here at BC for their generous support of today's conference. And I personally want to thank Mark Massa, the director of the Boisi Center, Susan Richard, the center's administrative assistant, Dr. Ann McClenahan, and the Boisi Center's 2 undergraduate research fellows, Karina Kavanaugh and Emily O'Neill, who have been constant in their work and support to make today successful. And I will double my thanks for Karina, who will function as today's co-facilitator, who is one of our research fellows, who many of you will get to interact with as the day progresses. So thank you all. So a few logistical matters before we proceed. You all should have and keep in your possession the full conference schedule that includes the links for each of today's sessions, both the paper sessions as well as the concluding plenary session, much like this one. Those are your keys to participation throughout the day. The link itself should be sufficient to get you where you want to go. So we ask that you please do your best to arrive on time to the session so as not to distract presenters who see Zoom screens shuffling. And if you opt to leave, try to do so between presentations for the same reason. you have any questions, I'm happy to take them now or to stay online for a couple moments to answer them. I'll sort of wait a second to see if anyone has any. Seeing none, I will stop here and welcome you all now to begin moving to the first concurrent paper session 1. They'll begin at 9:50, so we have about 11 minutes before those will begin. A little extra time for this first transition. Get yourself some coffee and a snack. Thank you all again, and we're looking forward to a great conference.